The discovery in the winter of 1945, a farmer in the Egyptian desert made a discovery he could not explain. Beneath layers of earth and time, hidden in the shadows of a crumbling cliff near the town of Nag Hammadi, he unearthed a sealed jar made of red clay. At first he feared breaking it. Ancient superstition whispered that demons were sealed in vessels like this. But curiosity overcame caution. Inside were 13 leather-bound codices, books far older than anything he had ever seen, pages of papyrus written in Coptic, filled with strange symbols and teachings never heard in church. These texts would soon shake the foundations of Christian history, because buried among them was something believed lost forever, a gospel that didn't just talk of Christ, but of an entirely different heaven. But this was not the first time such a text had emerged. Over 1,600 years earlier, in the Council of Nicaea, a powerful man had declared war on mystery. The Roman Emperor Constantine, the first to legalize Christianity, convened the council in 325 AD. What the world remembers as a council of unity was in truth a purge. Books that spoke of the divine spark within, of a hidden heaven not ruled by fear, were condemned. Among them was this gospel. It taught that heaven was not a place above, but a state of awakened being, a realm reached, not by obedience but by revelation. The church feared it. Constantine ordered it buried, or worse, burned. But one copy survived. And centuries later, in that dusty Egyptian cave, the earth gave it back the forbidden teachings. The gospel found in that cave was not like the ones we know. It did not open with a virgin birth or a manger. It did not warn of hellfire or demand blind faith. Instead, it whispered a hidden truth, that heaven is not a distant reward, but something within us all, waiting to be remembered. This gospel, now believed to be part of the Gnostic tradition, claimed the soul did not fall from grace. It was imprisoned in ignorance. It taught that the physical world was not created by the true God, but by a lesser power, a false creator who cloaked humanity in illusion. And yet, deep within every soul burns a spark, a fragment of the divine. The true heaven is the pleroma, the fullness, beyond this world, beyond form. To reach it, one must awaken, not through sacraments or rituals, but through gnosis, direct inner knowing. These teachings were dangerous. They bypassed the hierarchy. They made every seeker into a priest, and so they were buried, labeled heresy, because they challenged the need for control. Imagine a gospel that told you you don't need a gatekeeper to reach heaven, that the divine is not above you, but within you, that salvation is not granted, but awakened. That is what the church silenced, and yet the text survived. In it we find fragments of sayings attributed to Christ, but unlike anything found in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, he speaks not of worship, but of awakening, not of commandments, but of realization. These were not teachings meant to comfort, they were meant to ignite. The gospel taught that heaven is not earned by suffering, but remembered through illumination. And once that truth was known, it could not be controlled. Why it matters. Now for centuries, the lost gospel lay silent beneath stone and time. But today its message is more urgent than ever, because we live in an age of noise, of endless doctrines, divided faiths, and spiritual fatigue. And yet beneath it all, people are still searching. What if the gospel buried by Constantine was not just a relic, but a map? Not to a place in the clouds, but to a hidden realm inside ourselves. The text does not ask us to believe. It asks us to remember, to break the illusion, to see past the veil, to remember the light we carry. This is why it was suppressed, not because it was false, but because it made people free, and now we are remembering again. The question is no longer whether the gospel is real, The question is, are we ready to hear it? Because buried beneath every belief, every system, every story, there lies a single golden thread. For nearly 2,000 years, they tried to bury the gospel that couldn't be tamed. But truth doesn't die. It waits. The silent libraries. Truth was never lost, only hidden.